Hello students, welcome to our next lecture in the series of context-free grammar. Now in previous lecture we had picked that what is ambiguity in any specific grammar, what do we mean by ambiguous grammar, how to identify that any particular context-free grammar is ambiguous or not. Now let's move to our another topic of context-free grammar, that is known as normal forms. Now the thing is, what is normal form? As we have done in our finite automata also, that is minimization or optimization. That is somewhat similar to this one, but do not get confused that we are going to minimize our grammar here. We are going to normalize our grammar. Now, the first question always comes to our mind that why we want to normalize any specific grammar. What is grammar? Grammar is set of rules. Now, why we want to normalize our set of rules? So, in normalization process, what we actually do, we try to convert our grammar in such a form so that it can be more easy for implementation aspect, and we try to reduce the complexity of automation. Now, once again, I am not saying that I am going to minimize it. For the sake of reduction in complexity, I want to normalize my rules. Now, what is the reason behind it? The reason is that generally in context-free grammar it says A produces. Now in your right hand side you can have any combination of variable and terminal, and that can move up to any length. And in this way I can have any number of rules. So if right hand side is not limited, hence it becomes very complex once we try to encode it or once we try to program it. So for that thing, what we want to restrict this part in certain manner so that it can become easy to implement. And that is the primary aspect of normalization. Now, there are two normalization techniques which we are going to study. One is CNF and another one is GNF. Chomsky normal form and Gribach normal form. So first of all, we will pick the CNF and then we will move into GNF. But before we'll move into CNF, there are certain prerequisites. That is, grammars can have certain defections. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to remove the defects from the basic grammars, and then we will move into normalization with respect to the techniques. So before I'll move into CNF, what I need to do, I need to first of all focus on three different things or three different types of, you can say, defects which I want to remove first of all. So the first one is, that is one problem with respect to unreachable variables. Now, as we have done in minimization also, I am going to call it useless symbols. So in your grammar, if you are having any useless symbol, first of all remove it. The second one comes, that is unit production. if your grammar is having unit production, that you need to remove that unit production. And the third one is null production. If your grammar is having certain production containing epsilon sign, then you need to remove it. The reason in real-time implementation, you need to avoid this epsilon sign which says it is null or nothing. So before I'll move into normalization techniques, first of all I need to free my grammar from these three things. The first thing is useless symbol, second unit production, third one is null production. Now it's not necessary that you need to reduce your grammar with respect to these three in the same order. These all three things are independent and they can be used at any point of time. You can use first of all removal of unit production, then null production, then useless production. It's not mandatory that you need to move in the same order. So now we are going to focus on one by one removal of useless, then unit, then null production. And finally we'll move into CNF and GNF. So let's start removal of useless symbol.